The final lick that I'm going to show you is one from a song called The Best of Times. And the challenge about this song is that I wanted to write a song that was in a major key, which is difficult to do if you're playing, rock music that you want to sound convincing and you want to sound like it has attitude, because a lot of major key type stuff, I mean, it doesn't come across in the way that you'd hope. Like, it ends up sounding sort of soft or light or a little too happy or whatever, or maybe a little too instrumental sounding. So, but there are certain bands that have done that really well over the years. So the challenge was to write something that was in a major key and that still was exciting and still had a lot of attitude. So in The Best of Times, what helped carry that attitude across was that I wanted to have this kind of ripping guitar motif underneath the chord progression, because I figured, that would be something that would be able to be compelling and grab somebody's attention. So as the chords are going by, this thing just keeps going. It's kind of a non-stop, perpetual motion type of thing. The chord progressions that are going by are as follows. It's in E, which is the happiest of all keys, E major. So it goes E, and then to B, then to D, and then to A over C sharp, and then E, and then F sharp minor, and then E over G sharp, and then A. All right? And let me play the lick, and then I'll break it down for you. Basically, you're kind of doing this sort of whipping action with the pick, where you're not actually picking all the notes. You're picking the first few and then pulling off the next couple. And the challenge, I guess, is to get your pick to be able to play those fast notes. You have to kind of pop it out, and that's why it's kind of like a whipping motion. And if you can't do that, if the pick kind of gets caught in that motion, it won't sound clean. It won't come together. So just to illustrate what I'm talking about, the beginning of this riff, you're only picking the first 4 notes, and then you're pulling off the next 2. All right, so you see the pick is kind of doing that whipping motion. And that's the key. If you can do that, then you can pretty much do this whole thing. There are also a couple of other instances where you're playing a downstroke and then pulling off the rest of the notes, like this. So the combination is like... And you notice how the tonality is centered around E major. So then there are notes that break up the motif and outline an arpeggio. In this case, it's an F sharp minor. And then back down the scale, it'll be... So... All right, so notice how there's a lot of pull-offs going on. And the idea is that, if you were to pick all the notes, it would sound cool too, but you'd hear a lot of the pick going by, and I wanted to get something that had more of a smoother effect and only had like this whipping sound of the pick. And then the second time it goes by, it's outlining more of an E dominant sound. And the very last phrase just breaks it up by doing a descending motion instead of going up an arpeggio. You're back to where you started. All right, so in that case, as you're descending, you're using a lot of pull-offs. But then as you ascend, you're using the picking again. So, and once again gives that whipping sound. So here's the whole thing.